6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
For those of you watching in HD, you're welcome. My price went up, but I'm hoping that video was worth it. Welcome to the Fans Forum tonight for members on who are going to be live. Everyone else in the chat, everyone's welcome to have any comments, and we'll discuss any topics you want to. So on that note, if you'd like to become a member and you want a chance to come on this live show and have a chat, like we've got Matt and we've got Blade, Mauro and Gary, all members of the channel, you can come on and talk as much as you want. It's 99p to be a member. And there's loads of perks. You could win prizes, like 8 people won little pin badges, and I'm going to do a Newcastle top and maybe even a match day ticket for the Man City game. You never know. But no one wants to listen to my crack, so let's bring the real stars of the shows in. Let's see if they've all come. I like that little sequence. Look at that. Beautiful faces. How is everyone?
Spot on.
Fine. Thank you.
Awesome. Right, we're going to go straight into it, guys, because someone asked a question on Facebook, and it's a good opening question straight away to fly into. Should we consider offers for Maxi as Chelsea seem interested, perhaps build Brozier into the deal? Matt, what do you make of that?
I spoke about this when it was questioned recently in your podcast. We're talking about Maxi. I love him to bits, but I might be wishful here. Anything above 70 million, I'd take it. Anything less, nah. Like, he's a showpiece signing, so I'd keep him for the team. But if it's like 70, 80 million, you couldn't say no. But I mean, 50, I think I would say no to that.
It's a valid point, to be fair. 70 million
to bring in another. Who's got that amount of flair that we could bring in for that money? You know what I mean?
There are players, it's just we can't buy them, can we, Gary? At the moment, we're literally the Arby's turned we're down. So letting go of Maxi at this point, to me, even if it is 70 million, could be crazy because we've got no one lined up to come in.
See, you know what I'm like? I was on about giving Maxi another year.
Yeah,
because I think I just think he needs one season with like Bruno and all the players around him. So this is his year for me. But I agree with Matt in a way. If like 70 million comes along and they say he has Brozier as well, then you can go out and try and get Diaby, can't you? I mean, I know he doesn't want to come at the minute, but I don't know. Not for me yet, but it's still something you've got to consider, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy offer, I suppose, but no one says what the price is or what it will be. Blade, what is your thoughts? Would you consider an offer for Maxi if it was a silly offer? I mean, 50 million is probably a more realistic figure for him. And maybe Brozier in that deal as well would be. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Brozier. I don't know what you think of him.
To be honest, no. I mean, Brozier wouldn't be part of any deal for me. Not really interested. There's better out there. I think he's still got a bit of an injury. Chelsea are looking like they want to keep him anyway. Maxi does what Maxi does. I'd keep him for another year. Lee Porter just heard about 10 minutes ago. There's a new deal on the table for Maxi if he wants it.
Yeah, I mentioned it this morning. You need to watch my 60-second news, Blade. I mentioned that this morning about Maxi having a new deal potentially on the table. Jeez, terrible.
Yeah,
60 seconds. 60 seconds, mate.
Don't want a big deal too much.
I love it. No, I did hear about Maxi's contract last night from a different avenue of information, so I didn't want to put it out there on Twitter, but I did put it on my little 60-second news.
Sorry, I forgot to mention there's rumours going around the last 10 minutes that West Ham have pulled out the Brozier.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
So, don't know.
I don't know.
Is there a reason behind it? Is there a reason they've pulled out? Is it because another offer's there?
haven't they signed-
i.e.
Don't
us,
know.
or-
I'm not sure yet. There hasn't been like a valid reason yet, but they said they've just pulled out for now. So
You know what West Ham are like, though, they're cheap.
yeah,
So
but
they might-
not sure yet.
Yeah, I think Chelsea want a loan and West Ham want to buy him. I think that was the reason. If I remember reading it somewhere. Mauro, what's your thoughts on Maxi? Would you consider what offer would really make you sell him?
I wouldn't sell him at all this window, even if somebody offers 100 million, because at the moment, all 3 games when he was not playing, we had no ideas up front, and you could see that we miss him. Yes, obviously somebody else on the right wing, but without him, it looks different. He deserved at least one more season, and I really think that with the full preseason and better players around him, he'll prove good this season and much better than last year.
Very interesting. Can I just say you're looking very much like Davies Ass tonight. You've gone from Savio Marriage to Davies Ass. It's the hair.
New haircut.
Absolutely love it. Right, let's go to the chat and see if there's anything interesting in here. Keith, I doubt we'll get him. There must be some chat beforehand, and that disappears when the show goes live.
I'll do the next reply. That was about getting Sesko.
Ah, right, yes. I don't know what's happening with him. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. He was replying to the previous comment by Keith. Oh, there you go.
Aye.
Good evening, guys. Really looking forward to the show. And remember, and then he cuts himself off, and then he stops it again.
Wondering.
Yeah, like and subscribe and try to keep growing this excellent channel. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. Like I said, for anyone who would like to be a member, there's the link. It is pinned to the top of the chat. Like I say, it's 99p. It's like an ice cream. One ice cream. And then you can get to come on this show as well. But you can always watch and you can always comment, and I always reply. I think I'm one of the only people who actually goes through every single message and puts a reply in. Thanks for that. Couldn't see any more comments at the time. Yeah, it's the start of the show. If you actually comment before the show starts and it's really early, some of the comments disappear when the show starts, so I don't get to see them. Epiphany to get some quality in 2 weeks till season starts. Joe Linton, don't worry. We don't need 3 players, though. Trust me. We need 1 or 2. 2, I think, definitely. Evening from the States. Evening, Josh. Thanks for joining. Evening, Bars panel and chat. What's the thoughts on being linked with Depay? There's a good talking point. Again, got talent. Cheap. 17.5 million, I heard. Or 18.5 million, something like that. We'll go around the houses again. Matt, what do you think of Depay? Obviously, he failed at Man United, didn't he? So,
Aye. He's one of those. He's got a lot. He's like a Neymar. He's got a lot of talent, but when he's not feeling it, he's not there. 17 million, it would be a steal, but I think the wages would be very high.
yes.
Unless he's coming here on like half his wages, I wouldn't take him just because it's too much money. But without the quality guaranteed, the money could have went elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree with that. Gary, Depay?
I would snap him up for that price. Honestly, I think if we've got such a short budget to go there, we reckon we've got, then picking him up for £17 million, I reckon he'll hit double figures in goals, right?
It's just his wages, though, isn't it?
Do you know what it is? What do you think he's on?
I reckon he's on at least 200, 250.
250. I reckon he'll drop to what we want. So I reckon he'll be on like what Bruno, and I think be top end.
So 120, I think's the highest, isn't it?
And I think he's worth a punt. Honestly, I do for 17 million. Definitely for me, 1,000,000%.
Blade, are you a fan?
Of Depay, he's hit and miss, but I don't think his wages are anywhere near that. If you remember, they brought in the wage cap, didn't they? The actual Spanish government brought in a wage cap. So I doubt he'll be on that.
Before then, though, because he's been there a few years now.
He was, but I think, but I think they all had to take kind of like a bit of a hit for it. They may have dressed it up in bonuses or something like that, but his actual wage, Spain now won't pay what the Premier League can.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because it's not the actual football, and it's the
What?
clubs paying the wages. I don't get it. But again, Barcelona are 1.5 billion pound in debt. I don't understand how they can actually still sign players, to be honest with you.
What is the wage cap in Spain?
Mortgage the future.
What was that, sorry?
Barcelona basically mortgaged their future. That's
They
where
have,
they get the
yeah.
money from.
Yeah.
They've mortgaged their TV rights for future
Yeah,
seasons.
it's crazy.
Could you
Mauro,
imagine being the bank they're due 1.5 billion to, and then they've now just announced they're spending 500 million?
Yeah.
Are you seeing that who they've sold that percentage to though?
No.
They've got like 1,500 followers on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, 15%. Go and check them. They put it on their official
think I
website. So I
saw
clicked
that.
and had a look. 1,500 followers.
They must have a lot of money.
I'm 600 behind that.
you go and buy a bit of Barca, mate. I love it. Mauro, your thoughts on Depay, and do you know anything about what his wages would be or what he's on now?
I'm not sure, but he was brought on a free from Lyon, so his wages are probably very high because of that. Because when you bring a guy whose contract ends, you offer him more wages, of course. So I would bet that he's at least 200k. And if he bring him, he would probably want to be first choice. And I think Eddie Howe wants to keep Wilson for this season first choice and bring somebody just to rotate him. That's my opinion, at least.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of this show. Lots of opinions and different opinions. Personally, Depay, I'd take him at 17 million as long as his wages don't, really hurt us and, upset the dressing room. That's the only thing I'm ever worried about. And I think that's what Howe was obviously worried about as well.
He can play two positions as well.
He can, yeah. So it's kind of like the Kone situation, isn't it? 17.5 million buyout clause. It's kind of a no-brainer. But the Depay is even more of a no-brainer if you'll come on a lower wage, because he is quality and he's that step above that we need. So sell Wood for 10 million, cut our losses. Who would buy Wood for 10 million now, though?
Will not be Burnley, they can't afford.
Exactly. So I'm sorry, Jolinton, but I think we're stuck with Wood. And also Howe wants 3 different types of strikers because, you need them in different types of games and different types of situations as well. So I keep saying this, Wood will have a part to play this season, whether you like it or not, because he has a different style. And if we're literally winning a game 1-0 with 10 minutes to go and we need someone to hump the ball to, potentially if we're under pressure, he's going to put Wood on, get a ball into the corners and run down time and all that sort of stuff. So there's still something in Wood for me. Ari Badden, as I say, is Mick. If Maxi goes, we'll need 4 players to get in before the season starts. I kind of agree with that if you lose Maxi. I think he's worth 2 players with his trickery, what he brings to the team. I'm still not convinced on 4-3-3 formation going into the season. I don't know about you guys. Trying to play possession football when we haven't got someone who can break teams down.
If Paqueta come in, then yeah.
Yeah.
But
See, I would like to change the formation if Paqueta comes in.
Is that not what Bruno was meant to do? I've seen something about it said recently about scoring goals isn't really in his forte. Before he came to Newcastle, he's been lucky with that, but before then he was known more as a defensive midfielder.
Yeah. That's right.
Like you were saying about Paqueta, if we had someone like him in front, obviously they're pals, but even just someone more attacking in front, we maybe still could play the 4-3-3.
If Paqueta came in, I'd change to a 4-2-3-1. And I play Bruno and Shelby or Bruno and Joe Linton sitting, and I have Paqueta in the number 10 role because he would flourish then. And then you got Maxi, Willock either side potentially, something along those lines. Fraser maybe. If you want to play possession football, you either play two sitting or you play 1 sitting, and then you play 2 up front. Or I don't know. I just think 4-3-3 is a counter-attacking formation for us like it was last year, and we had the players to counter-attack. We don't really have the players to hold. We can keep the ball, don't get me wrong. We've done it well in pre-season, but we haven't broke teams down as well as what we should have. That game against Men's showed what we were missing, and that was that killer pass in the area. So, Gary, what's your thoughts on the formation? Would you like to stick with it, or depends who we bring in?
Depends who we bring in, yeah. Because I mean, I like 4-3-3 always, but it depends who's in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, Piquet and Bruno were it's a dream for me to watch them two play together. I mean, if you've never seen them play together, watch YouTube, watch them.
Yeah,
they know where each other is on every blade of that pitch, honestly. And you can guarantee Bruno will back heel it and Piquet will be on the end of it. But I tend to agree with you as well. The 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I like 4-2-3-1. I don't know why. Maybe it's just Football Manager. It's just got me hooked on 4-2-3-1. To be fair.
Yeah.
Mauro, what about you with formation? Do you like the 4-3-3, or would you like to see us change it up? You've got to be able to adapt, so you've got to be able to play more than one formation, I suppose. So,
yeah. Well, it all depends how you play, because you can play the same formation in a different way. Last season we didn't have Botman. We will have Botman, Schär, Botman and Burn combination who will be able to get high up the pitch with the ball. And if we bring Paqueta, then especially we will be able to hold our ball. But I also like 4-2-1-3 or 4-2-3-1. And then, as you said, that there is an option, depending on the result, there is always an option to bring in second striker in Wood. So we had Wilson and Wood as two strikers if we need to score a goal, or only Wood if we need to keep the game. So, yeah, I think that will be between these two mentioned formations, depending on the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, what about you?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. To be honest, we've only had 6 months of playing football. It's not passing to the back and tie the bus, isn't it?
Yeah, this is true.
So, it's just waiting to see. I can't pull out loads of stats that I don't know. You know what I mean about Eddie Howe as well. I don't know what his preferences were before coming to Newcastle. But like I says, this season we probably will see a change, because it'll be more of what Eddie wanted to implement. Dealing with the Bristol ball players.
Yeah, it's hard to get that out of the team, isn't it? I mean, at Bournemouth, he liked to play two strikers, so
yeah,
it's interesting that he hasn't tried to do that yet. Especially when you bring Wood in and Wilson was fit, he still stuck with Wilson up front on his own in that 4-3-3. So he's obviously adapted, hasn't he? He's gone away, he's learned from the best, and he's maybe gone away from two up front, and he knows he can't play that anymore. Still can't do it.
That might be why he wants Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he's not my choice. He's not my choice, but I've heard Eddie Howe likes him.
Yeah.
And really likes him. So it's not my choice, but maybe that's why.
As long as he doesn't give any fashion tips.
No.
Blade, what's your thought on formation? Do you like the 4-3-3, or would you like to see us adapt into a different formation?
I like the 4-3-3 as a starting block, but like kind of Mauro hinted at, if you've got Botman, Schär at the back of the four, all one has to do is step out. So you switch to the 3-4-3. So again, it's personnel. If Paqueta came in, then obviously Bruno and him are going to play the double pivot. So essentially, I guess you'd play Joe Linton as the number 6 and just stop him from going box to box and just tell him to sit. Shelby wouldn't be on the pitch. Still gives you Maxi left, Fraser right, Wilson up top. So I think 4-3-3 is probably fluid formation. It's never as solid. They don't stick to it. It moves constantly.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Let's just wait and see, I suppose. It's going to be fun. Here's another name that's sprouted up a few times. Obviously, it looks like his Chelsea future is very bleak. Hudson-Odoi. He obviously broke on the scene with Chelsea. Got into the England squad, looked like he was going to be a future star, and he's just dropped over a cliff a little bit. Love it. So who is that? That is brilliant. Matt, Hudson-Odoi, would you take him?
Not for 45 mil.
Really?
Because we have,
He's still young,
just because
still English.
we've still spent quite a lot as well, though.
Mm.
With the signings brought in last season, we need to kind of recoup money. I think Chelsea would go lower as well, because by the looks of it.
Oh,
Chelsea
wait a
are
minute. I
wanting
think
to
I
kind of
understand this
come
now.
out.
No, it's 45 million.
It's 45
Hudson-Odoi.
million and Hudson-Odoi for Maxi.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I've worked it out a bit too late there. Would you do that deal?
Nah, because it doesn't help us with the Maxi situation. Then we're left with 45 mil to kind of play.
Hudson-Odoi would replace ASM because he can play on the left or the right.
Yeah. I don't know enough about him. Like the money's not all there for me. Because, like I said, I'd like to keep a hold of St. Maxi because he is a show off. But if you really tempted me, then yeah. But
yeah, Hudson-Odoi is a bit of a show off as well. He's probably worth, what do you reckon, guys? About 35, 40 million potentially, Hudson-Odoi. So you're looking at 85 million deal there, aren't you?
I think he was a couple of years ago. I'm not sure about that.
Would you do the deal, Gary?
20s, isn't it?
Would I do it?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
I can see him pulling his hamstring in the first half an hour. Honestly, I can't. He's made of glass, man. Honestly, he's made of glass. I just, honestly, not for me.
No.
I think he's a good player, but no.
Morrow, 45 million in Hudson. The Hudson Hornet.
I'm a big fan of Hudson-Odoi, but I wouldn't sell Maxi. And for him, he's now out of. He was up until now. He didn't need to be registered. He was under 21. Now he needs to be registered. Chelsea he seems to be surplus of requirements after they brought Sterling. I would maybe try some loan with an option to buy or obligation to buy. That would be the best with his injury situation and everything, just to try him if possible and then see if he comes good, then buy him.
That'd be a sensible deal. Yeah, I get that. Blade?
Yeah, take him on loan, wouldn't sell Maxi.
Yeah. I wonder if it's available for loan. That'd be interesting. All right, lads. All right, Gordon, thanks for joining us as always. Here's a good one. 20 million, Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic for Maxi. A quick yes or no around the houses, Matt?
I'd go for it.
Yeah. Gary?
No.
Ooh, Morrow?
No.
Blade?
No.
Ooh, 3-1, I'm afraid, Matt. You've been voted out.
Baz, this side of you on here, though.
Oh, no, I'm the host.
You were going to say yes, weren't you?
I was, actually, yeah. Actually, I think that would be a good deal, to be fair. But
Pulisic's a really good player, but I'm the same. I just think Maxi's going to turn it on this season.
Yeah, I do.
Honestly, I do. I think this is his season.
I really don't. Eddie Howe was quoted to say that he's worked really hard. He's done everything he's asked of him. And he's really looking forward to having a great season with him. So, Matt, I'm afraid you need to leave the island. Really disappointing new quality in now if we won't. But Joelinton, just calm down. Forget about Europe. Let's just enjoy the ride. I'm not thinking of Europe anymore. I'm just thinking top 8. Maybe push to get 7th if we're lucky. And then see what happens next summer. This is a season for building. And I think Botman and Bruno would have been told this. We're going to build this summer. And then next summer, I think we'll go for it. I really do. I think that's how we're going to do it because the sponsors will be in. You know, we'll get rid of Fun 88. We'll get rid of Castore as well because they're breaking their contract, not being able to fill orders. We will have more money due to sponsorship. So I think this is a building season. And then, boom, we're going to rock it next summer. I really do think that.
Did you hear that thing about Castore?
Sorry, Gary, go first.
Did you hear that thing about Castore in Saudi Arabia?
No.
Well, you know the Noon sponsorship?
Yeah.
There's rumours going around that, obviously, because it's like a Saudi Arabian company and all that, they cannot get the shirts over there enough because of Castore again. That, honestly, They just need to go then. They'll not be here next summer.
Nah,
No
definitely
chance. No chance.
not. Sorry, Matt, what were you going to say?
Look, just as you were saying there, I didn't know that about the Castore deal, and I'm happy that that's fell through, and I hope we go back to Adidas. But
Yeah, they have said they want to go
thinking.
for a worldwide brand, so it'll be Nike, Adidas, something like that again, which would be amazing. It hasn't fallen through yet. It's just they are at the moment. They're very, very close at risk of breaking their contractual agreement. And if they do break it, our lawyers will be all over it like a rash.
That Saudi point, Gaz was saying that'll probably be a deal breaker for them then.
Oh, definitely. I mean, people have got back orders over in Saudi Arabia waiting for shirts to come over there, and we have in the UK as well.
A woman on yesterday that was waiting.
Yes, Nelly.
Yeah.
She's still waiting for hers. Yeah.
Should be waiting a while.
So, so them free for Maxi. I think this is going to go on a little while. This one isn't. We'll have to skip that. So no, we're not selling Maxi. If Maxi gets a new contract, I've won past the bloody ball. He has started. I don't know if you watched I obviously watched all the games and the highlights again. And Maxi does look a different player. He's bought into what Howe wants of him. So honestly, trust me. Watch Maxi fly. Europe should not be the target. Top 10, anything higher is a bonus. I agree. PIF will want Europe. Top 10 isn't good enough for them, but that's not true because if they wanted Europe, they'd be going out and spending and not worrying about FFP. So
they will next summer.
Yeah, exactly. Depay should stick to. Oh God, come on, Joe Linton. I'm off to see Newcastle v Benfica tonight. Got my bags packed, tickets sorted. Just gonna watch this on my way. Amazing, Chris. If you can send some pictures over to us, there's all our Twitter handles. We would love to see some pictures of that. Jammy git.
Hello.
That's all I'm saying. I am going to try and do a watch along for it. That's Tuesday night, isn't it, for Benfica?
Yeah.
And I think I'll have a link for it. So I am going to try and do a watch along for it because that'll be interesting. I need to get some practice in because I'm applying for a job at Newcastle, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm doing
trying to be the commentator for blind people.
No.
I'm going to give it a go. Why not?
Yeah,
I need the practicing, and I need to learn not to swear. Sorry, Matt, what were you saying?
Would you need to, like, just because you're saying about description for blind people, would it be a lot more descriptive, I take it, rather than just commentary?
I don't know. I guess I'll find out, I suppose. It'll just be like, it's just like the radio, isn't it? A bit of commentary, you can't see anything. You rely on the people who are bringing the pictures into your ears. So I think it'll be like that.
It
might be like one of those Sky things when they're in the game, they have the earpieces in the ear, in the cricket. And that might be tuned into me. Can you imagine that? That'd be amazing. Depay would be our Robinho. There's a good solid point there from user Nib. That is a quality point because Robinho, let's just tell Depay that he's going to Manchester, City, and then he turns up at Newcastle and be like, what, where am I? Get Barca to pay part of his wages. That would be a cracking idea. Memphis Depay is a top player, gets goals, never caused any issues in his life. He's a 15-plus goals a season player. There we go. I think everyone says Depay should be the one. Hi, Jan. Thanks for joining as always. Depay was a free transfer to Barca from Lyon, wasn't? He's played with Bruno and Botman. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he has.
There's his wages, apparently. There's the stumbling block. You'd have to drop 100k a week and maybe a little bit more. Pretty sure he's never scored more than 15 goals a season before. If he can get 10, he'll get 10.
He will get double figures.
Yeah. But I'd take Depay over. Everyone will take Depay over Wood. I don't think even that's a conversation, Joe Linton. His wages would be way too high for us. I think that will be the stumbling block. Good evening, Dougie. Thanks for joining us. If you want to come on, Dougie, in the future, please let me know. Josh Do. Do you think it's risky not bringing another attacker before the first game? Do I think it's risky? I'm going to ask the panel because I'm just the host. So, Matt?
Before the first game, nah. Before the end of the window, yes.
I agree with that. Gary?
I'm the same as Matt. I agree with that. I think Wilson will obviously be fit for Forest, so
it's not a risk, is it, for one game?
Nah, not for one game.
Oh, Mauro?
I agree. If we can bring Paqueta and right winger, I think we could do without the striker if needed, and we could always get somebody from the youth team if needed, if those two guys get injuries. Or Joelton can play up front.
This is true. Also. We keep forgetting he was a striker. But there is also that young lad who's banging them in, isn't there? In the under 21s. I forget I can't pronounce his name, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know.
Ndwidi or someone like that.
And Vimeni.
There we go. That's why Mauro's here, you see. This is why he's here.
There is also Dylan Stevenson. He seems to be Dylan Stevenson. He seems to be a big prospect also. So he's also an option.
I agree. Blade, what do you think of this one then? Risky or not?
Before the first game, no. Like Matt said, before the end of the window, yes.
Yeah, I do agree. We obviously need attacking players, but I'm not overly fussed as long as it's done before the end of the window. 2 more players, guys. That's my prediction. Barca have only moved their debt further down the line. They want the Super League to help their debt out. Well, the Super League isn't going to happen, is it? You're forgetting Barcelona make $4 billion a year in income. That's why they cannot get done by FFP. It's Spanish League that's stopping them. Well, let's say not stopping them. What is FFP to these teams? At some point, Barry Howe's got to get over the fear of signing a top player. He signed 2 top players, though. He signed Bruno and Botman. I don't get this about, we haven't signed a top player. Botman is phenomenal, and we've already seen that in the preseason games with his composure, his touch. He can play out. He's just a man mountain, and him and Shaw are going to be an excellent pairing. Jonathan's trying to get rid of his teammate, someone called the Chronicle. Selwood's that club is owned by Ryan Reynolds. Wrexham, innit?
Wrexham.
Yeah. And then they're laughing. Isn't Werner up for sale with Pulisic? The others cause Chelsea are 800 million debt now, thanks to Todd Bowley. I mean, Chelsea have done bits. Let's be honest. And again, FFP don't understand it. I know there's a lot of love for Werner for some reason in our fan base. Personally, I don't think he can hit a barn door. Matt, what's your thoughts on Werner? Would you take a shot at him?
No.
Good lad. I definitely wouldn't. Gary, what about you?
He's like Craig Bellamy, but he kind of put in the back of the net.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he is. He's
pointless, and if he can't put the ball in the net, in my eyes.
No, I mean, he'll run past anybody, but that's all he'll do. He'll not do anything else. He'll hit the ball straight in the goalkeeper's arms, or hit the post or something.
We've got one of them already, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. The one we're defending on a constant basis. Yeah, I know. Honestly.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
I've changed my mind, selling for 40 million. I'm not going to get Pulisic.
Mauro, do you like Werner? Are you a fan?
Well, maybe he just needs a little bit of confidence and Eddie Howe magic because he was a beast before in Germany. He was really scoring for free. And I also just had a look, maybe on loan, if we could get him on loan, because I was just checking Chelsea team and they have even now more players than us. They have more than 30 players in their first team, and they had a lot of players who just passed 21, so now they count into that. So they might be open to some loan deals, either Hudson-Odoi or Werner or somebody. They need to get rid of players before the season. So maybe if we can get him on loan, he wouldn't be a big risk.
I have heard, though, that our owners don't want to be loaning players and improving other teams' players. They want to sign players. I don't know if that's true or not, because you've got 2 loans or 3 loans. You might as well use them if it's an option and you can get some quality in. So I agree, Werner on loan might not be a bad thing, but I wouldn't want to sign him, to be honest with you. I think it's too much of a risk.
That's a sign of a club that wants to go somewhere, though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think, anyway.
I agree with it, but I don't agree with it as well if there's a quality player that could be loaned with an obligation to buy or something like that. That's different.
They
should look at it. Blade, what about you? Werner fan or not?
No, not really. Can he cross? If he can, as a right winger, I think he's all right because he certainly can't finish.
He can't finish. He's done it. Can he cross? I've not really seen him put a decent ball in, to be honest with you. There was a game. The reason why I don't like it, I mean, I say I don't like him. I just thought you're not good enough for the Premier League. It was when he played for Germany, and they were playing against a team that got beat 1-0, and it was a shocking team. And Werner went through, I think, twice 1-on-1 and missed both chances. And I was just like, Chelsea have wasted the money on this kid. There you are. Should get Lamptey for right wing. He's injury prone though, isn't he? And he can play right back as well, of course. But I'm not too sure on Lamptey now. A lot of teams have stayed away from him. So 4-3-3 is pressing formation, not counter. 4-2-3-1 is counter-attack. But we played the 4-3-3 and we played more of a counter-attacking formation when we played the 4-3-3. So kind of disagree a little bit on that. Lamptey would be 60 million plus and he's a right back. That's true. I don't know. If Eddie Howe doesn't go for Depay or any top player we offer, then I'm sorry, he's holding us back because I don't agree. Chris, I don't agree with this at all. I really don't. Eddie Howe is not holding us back. The club are the ones who are doing the deals. Eddie Howe says who he wants. Dan Ashworth's there. The new CEO is there. The owners are there. They're all the ones that make the decision. Eddie Howe's there to manage the team. He's not there to decide who's coming in and who's going out. It's up to, and this has been said plenty of times before by other people, managers now coach. They don't manage the whole club. They've got other people to do that for them. So there's people in the background working on the deals and trying to get players in. The top players will come. We've tried Diaby, he's turned us down. We tried Ekiteke, he turned us down. You know, it's not the club on lack in the transfer market. It's just not getting the players in. It's not Eddie Howe's fault at all or anything to do with them, really. Do you guys agree with that?
Can I just drop a point in there?
Of course you can.
The club's only just given Eddie a longer contract on better terms. If they didn't trust him with transfers, then he's not in danger of the sack. He's building something. It's going to take time.
Do you know what it is? That I don't think Jack Harrison is a PIF signing, but he's an Eddie Howe signing. So if they've made a bid for Jack Harrison, they've asked Eddie Howe, does he want him? And they've went and go for him. Honestly,
but Ashworth as well, though, isn't it? Ashworth's
Yeah.
there to make a decision as well. Everyone's there. There's a brain pool. It's not just Eddie Howe on his own. Everyone's there scouting, giving the notes, trying to fit the right players into the squad to not upset the dressing room as well. Eventually, we will start paying higher wages, like we said, and pay higher fees and all this sort of stuff. But for this season, it's all about stability, trying to get top 10, as high as we can go, and then keep on building.
The only way I can see Eddie Howe leaving Newcastle is if the England job comes up in a couple of years' time and he gets offered it. That's the only reason I can see him leaving.
Agree. And a huge way. It all depends if he drops his wage. So this is what we're saying. If the pie comes down to our thinking, then we would sign him, but we wouldn't sign him on 230 grand a week. It just wouldn't happen. Chris, we need top players to get to Europe, or Bruno and Botman and Maxi will be off. I don't think they will. Not after one full season. Come on, it's one full. This is their first full season. I don't get why everyone's trying to rush into things.
Bruno and Botman have been told they know exactly what's going to happen. They know when we're going for Europe, or they wouldn't have signed the contract.
Yeah, exactly. We've got time to get into Europe. There's no rush. Exactly. Sell ASM and get Cucurella. He's a left back though.
Yeah.
Please no, not DCL.
I agree with
him. We agree on that one, Joe Linton. We agree with that one. We'd rather slowly build a strong squad with a good atmosphere than bring big personalities and upset the dressing room. Yeah, I agree with that one as well. Big name sell shirts and make global fan base, which will be Pip's plans. Eventually, it will be.
Eventually,
not straight away. Big names and wages will have to happen for FFP as global fan base helps. It will eventually, but not in their first full season. This is their first summer transfer window. Man City didn't do it overnight, remember? Took them four years, didn't it, to get to the top of the table?
Yeah.
Or was it 5 years?
4 years, I think. They signed their first summer. I know they signed Robinho, but they brought Wayne Bridge in, De Jong, company.
Yeah.
It was like a spine, wasn't it? And then the Aguero's come and the De Bruyne's come a couple of years later. So
Exactly. Agree now, I think the 23-24 season is where the real pressure for Europe starts, as long as we aren't awful this year. We won't be awful this year, I promise you. True, but I reckon it would take time before we are doing that. Owners won't risk upsetting Howe, like Ashley did with Keegan, and bring in players he doesn't want. There's the other side of it as well. If you bring in players that the manager can't work with or upsets the dressing room, you upset the whole balance, don't you? Yin and yang. Who was that vibrator? Oh man, our owner MBS will want to. No, they don't want success quickly. They would like it. They wouldn't say no to it, but it's not a demand. I think people need to start looking into this properly. Amanda Staveley came out and said it's a 5-year plan. So there you go. You take Hudson-Odoi on loan as last resort. You overpay massively for Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea. He has an injury issue as well. Everyone kind of agreed with that, didn't they? Apart from me and Matt. They haven't said that. Who hasn't said that? Stevie said 5 years. Oh, yeah, he was agreeing with me. Yeah, exactly. Max needs to stay. We're not still going, sorry, Gary.
Wasn't Staveley's 5-year plan for, I can't remember, was it for the...
It was just challenge for the title.
Challenge for the title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Europe must be about 2-3.
Yeah, 2-3 years, yeah. Maxi needs to stay. We're not a stepping stone club. This is true. But we're also just thinking, more money in the pot for maybe someone like a Paqueta or another striker as well. But I know everyone bashes Maxi at times, but he's just different, and that's why we love him. I think the owner's actions so far have shown a willingness for patience. Yep, exactly. Staveley isn't the owner. Yeah, but Staveley is part owner. She's got a stake in the club, so she has a big say in what happens. So, Jolinton, whatever Piff want, we will get. Amanda has no say on the dad. 10% don't get the USA. Look at Kroenke, destroyed Arsenal. Couldn't have a say over him. I think what you got to remember though is that Staveley and Dad go to the games. They're the ones that report back to Piff, so they do have a big say in it, and so does Jamie Rubin. They all have a say around the table to discuss transfers and who comes in. So, Piff, yes, will want, and they will front up the money, but everyone has a say in it. Have a little stake, still important though. I agree. I'm slightly disappointed no big signings yet, but I think the slow build is smarter and safer. Well said, Josh. And we'll have 30% of Arsenal. They may call it a consortium, but majority rules. Majority does rule, yep, I agree. Man had to take a loan out for 10%. The only decision comes from MBS.
I think she's got a good say, to be honest.
I think she has, because she brung Piff to the table.
For the deal. Yeah, that's it. I mean, she went for a deal before Piff.
Yeah.
That fell through, and now she's went through with one with Piff. But I think Piff don't really want their face in it too much. No, they know that. They don't really have their face in about it. They're never there.
Exactly.
So,
it's a team effort.
The hands-off approach, because Piff haven't done football, whereas Amanda Staveley's obviously done her research, and I think she's obviously not got more of a say than Piff, but I think she brings an even amount to the table as they do.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. He would be a great fit. I think he would be as well. Quite a lot to do me. Jolinton, you're right. They will push for their way at some point. They're here to make money and win things, in the top players, bring in top sponsors. Look at Liverpool. They will bring in top sponsors. They'll bring in top players eventually. But like we said, they may have actually set a budget for this window and said, right, there you go, Amanda and Medad, there's your budget. Go and do what you want with it. These are the sort of players we want, and let's see what you can get with it. Nobody really knows. Max has been our main threat for the last few years. He has. And without him, we wouldn't be in the Premier League, to be honest with you. especially since the FA have already displayed that they want to screw us over any opportunity to have you had to do, don't they? Frank Astroy have already been told the deal will be ended. That sounds music to my ears. Yeah, we get it. We need to stop talking about it now, though. Paqueta off nothing to Newcastle. I'm sorry he can't play as a winger, but he's calm in the CM. That's it. He can't. I'm going to get into more arguments.
We don't have an attacking midfielder.
Exactly, he's attacking midfielder.
I
Well,
know it's
we
not
sort of have
efficient
Willick,
to
don't we,
use.
who's box to box in a way. I would love Paqueta.
Yeah.
Max is worth more to us than any other teams. Hopefully, it's become more reputable. That will change. What Baz said, the pie would stick. I don't even know who he is, or if he raps or doesn't rap, but he will be good. We all want him, don't we? We will all take the pie. Derek, who's the... I don't know. I was talking to Derek in the chat.
I was trying to.
Yeah. ASM has got no excuse this year. With a better squad, he should be world class. We kind of all agree with that, don't we? We think this is his year.
Yeah, I do.
And we're moving to a new distribution center, and that's why people ordered today. Still nothing shipped. Jesus. Really hope you get the commentary job out. Thanks, Michael. I'm going to apply for it tomorrow. Closing date's in August, but I wrote my little thing today at work when I was bored. Applying for jobs when I'm at work. I hope no one's watching from work. Sorry I'm late. Good evening, Baz, Gary Morrow, and guests. Evening, Keith. Derek, we know that. I'm just going to have to skip through. There's loads of comments. The only way to move the class extended goalpost by 6 foot from Jan. Jonathan Prince. All right, let's forget about what Baz is. Yeah, rapping. I know it didn't look like rapping when I was reading it though. Still represents. Does he actually rap?
I know Lingard does, but
No, Lingard's
I don't know about him.
Bloody dickhead, isn't he?
Oh,
Right, let's talk about Lingard very quickly. 200 grand a week. What's all that about?
Well,
I'm not
apparently
going to diss him because Karma's a bitch and we'll play the first game of the season. Let's be careful what we say.
Don't worry about that. Joe Linton will put him on his arse in the first 5 minutes. Well, he's went for the money, hasn't he? It's obvious. I mean, if he had any ambition, he would have went to West Ham. But
yeah, or us.
He's went for the money, plain and simple.
I agree. Matt?
Aye, definitely a money move.
Blade?
I think 200 grand a week puts him like the 7th highest paid player in the Premier League. This is for a guy who's had a year off.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Player?
Right down, mate.
Yeah, he's not far off that. He's in the top.
Really? Wow. Unbelievable. Mauro, what about you?
Joint 7th.
That's crazy. Mauro, what's your thoughts on Lingard?
Probably money move, or he thinks if he is the biggest star in the team, he could get into England team for the World Cup. I don't know, but still, for some logic in better team, he would probably be better himself. So it's not logical for me. But if he wants it, if he is thinking that way, I'm happy we didn't get him here. So good riddance.
You know what stands out though? He signed a 1-year contract.
1 year, exactly. Yeah, so Forest go. But again, that's probably sensible from Forest, though, isn't it? Because if they were to go down, they can't afford 200 grand a week in the Championship. So it's
I think that shows his ambition, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because then he's a free agent again, isn't he? And you'll have people have to run potentially if he has a good season. So
yeah, he'll head to America after this. He'll go to America after this and get another 200 grand a week.
Probably. Good talking point here. Should Anderson be loaned out? He has ability, but would a loan to the Championship help him progress? We've talked about this a few times, so we'll go with Matt. I would like to see Anderson stay in the squad if he's going to get the minutes. What about you?
That's it exactly. It's down to minutes. If we don't get wingers, then keep them in the squad because you don't need to register them. But if we get wingers, then we've got quite a lot. So Nah, it's all down to the game time.
Yeah, I agree. Blade?
I'd keep him. I mean, people keep saying like he needs the experience. Well, why give him the experience of the Championship? Give him the experience of the Premiership.
It all depends if he gets the game time, isn't it? If he's going to get on. And I think that's the one that's what worries me a little bit. If we keep him, we don't want him to not progress after he did such a great loan. Could a Championship team like Sheffield Wednesday play good football, don't they? Borough potentially as well, but don't really want to go to Borough. Norwich, a team that's going to be attacking and winning games. You'll see the best of them in the Championship, and then maybe that gives them the confidence to then next season make the step up.
I'd keep him.
But does it also overinflate his confidence to the point where he thinks he's met it and yet he hasn't? Then he comes back in, expect great things from him, and he isn't up to par.
That is also true. He seems very level-headed though when you listen to him and you see his interviews.
I agree with Blue. I would keep him because can you imagine if he goes on loan somewhere, has a cracking season somewhere, comes back in the summer, and we buy Diaby in the summer, we'll buy so-and-so, we'll buy so-and-so, and then all of a sudden he's on the bench. He stays here, does really well for us. He's here for life.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
I would keep him. Yeah, I would keep him. He's better than Fraser, Murphy, and the rest of them on the right wing. I'd play him there, man. Honestly, I would. I would play him there. If we kind of get right wing, I'd just put him there.
Yeah,
let Bruno. Put him next to Bruno.
Yeah, this is why I'm not as worried as what some people are. Mauro, what about you?
I agree. I would keep him, and he can play multiple positions. He can play central midfield, attacking midfield, winger, and with 5 substitution, he will probably find his game time. And I think even less games and less game time with the Premier League, with the better players, will fit him and do him better than playing full games in Championship. So I think we will keep him. I would just like to see him in the rest of the games, Benfica and other games, on the right wing. I'm just so curious to see how he would fit there.
Yeah, I agree. Because he hasn't really played there yet, has he? He hasn't played in the right wing. When he started in the friendlies, he's played in the free behind, hasn't he? So it's very interesting. Because when he played for Bristol Rovers, he was very much the Maxi's position, wasn't he? So that's an interesting way to fit him in as well. To the future star, Depay, Modric, Ronaldo, even plus, so the levels Trippier international level. Yeah, I agree with that. Botman is a future star. I think he's just going to be one of the best defenders in the Premier League, to be honest with you. He doesn't at all. All right, they're having an argument between each other, so I'm going to leave them to it. Right. Let's see what Emma's got to say. Thanks for joining, Emma. If we don't buy Paqueta, top team will get him for sure, and we miss out on a huge upgrade to midfield. Because after the World Cup, everyone under the will want him, and his price rockets. I agree with Emma. Cheap money. I mean, this is the one thing, though, hasn't it? I mean, there was a rumor coming out saying that his asking price had been slashed, and Arsenal were the favourites to sign him. We're still favourites with the bookies. So no one's actually come back and confirmed whether that rumour was true or not as well. It's an interesting one. What's this one? Going back to Werner.
He's got a release clause as well, so it doesn't matter what he does in the World Cup.
Yeah, he's got that. How did you pronounce it? Release clause, wasn't it? Not buyout clause, release clause. Yeah, so
he's got the release, not the buyout clause.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 45 million, isn't it, roughly? Or was it 45 million?
Yeah.
I seen it was quoted as it's been put down to 40 million euros, which is 34 million pounds.
Yeah, that's what was. Yeah, but I just don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah. I think the stories have got legs, to be honest. You don't hear much coming out of the Newcastle camp since the takeover. Like, look before Botman, even before Bruno and that, you don't hear anything about them before they're announced, and then like a couple of weeks before you start hearing loads of stories.
Yeah.
How long is Piquetta's contract?
It's a good question. It's got a few years on it, I think.
Yeah, yes, because I've just got a feeling that's going to be done in January.
Potentially. I do have a little bit of information on Piquetta, and I was trying to keep it low key, but I'm going to read it to you. These are all going to go mad now. Right, where is it? Piquetta is on hold. Piquetta, the hold-up is between the Leon takeover, something to do with buyers and sellers reducing club sale price, but all is agreed with the old owners.
Right.
So we've actually agreed to buy him with the old owners. It's done and dusted, but the new owners are not happy. So there's a hold-up between the two.
What
So we actually have. I don't know. It doesn't say in the message. That's all the message says, is that we've done and dusted the deal with the old owners, but the new owners who were going to come in are stopping the deal from going through.
Yeah, there's probably some sort of legality behind that.
Aye.
So that's what
do you know what it is. Player power will kick in there. He'll be if that's the case. End of the window.
Yeah.
That's probably why he did put a transfer request. He probably tried to sort a move before new owners come in.
Yeah,
that might be the reason.
We've lost Blade. He's popped back in, but there's no picture, so I don't want to add him. I don't agree with this. Poch has done nothing for me to even warrant being the next man to take over us.
That got mentioned on TalkSport.
Did it?
They were going, and our name got mentioned.
There we go. But yes, we'll speak to football people about who the next manager will be. He won't make the decision because he doesn't know anything about football. That's why he's brought all these football people in. I think we've got to let people do the jobs that they've been told that they're doing. Doesn't matter. His CEO is allowed to put plans in place, and Piff, no, it's a 5-year project, and we're just in 1 year. We're not even 1 year into it. We're 6 months into it. We're only in our second transfer window. It's just everyone's just got to chill a little bit. I hope I live long enough to see. Yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? I hope I live long enough. I'm sure we will, though. For a quick forward, Zapata. Get Zapata. I honestly think that could get done when Atlanta over. If Zapata rips us apart in the friendly, they'll be like, get it done. 15 million or 17.5 or something like that. So, Man City bought stepping stone players that take us to the next. Exactly. This is what I try to say to people. Zapata is a stepping stone player. He's not going to have any sell-on value, but he would get us to that next level. Anyone disagree with that?
Now, Kieran Trippier's a key example.
He's got no sell-on fee either.
What a signing, mate. I mean, he won the league and then came to Newcastle.
He's our David Silva for me. So David Silva, he's that type that he's not next level like Aguero and stuff, but he is the next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a stepping stone to somebody massive.
Because he's the money man. We all know who the money man is. We all know all that, but they wouldn't employ everyone under them to make the football decisions. You've just got to remember this. He's not a gung-ho person who's going to go into a room and go, right, I'm sacking him and I'm getting him. He's not that kind of person. We already know that. Let's stop this conversation now because it's a little bit boring that the whole chat is being taken up by it. I think we get Zapata late in the window. I do. I think it'll be late in the window because I think they'll wait till the friendly. I really do.
Do you reckon we'll get him?
I honestly think there's a huge chance we'll get him because I think it's a no-brainer for 2 years. I really do.
Oh, no, I think he's a good player and we'll take him. I just don't think they're going to go for it.
Well, we tried hard in January, to be fair. It all depends on who else is available, doesn't it? So, to change the topic, how about the outgoings? I think we're doing great considering circumstances. Yes, let's bring the outgoings up. I actually took a picture of a great thing. It was actually in our group, and it was put in by Mark. So this is what we've done so far since the owners have come in. Or actually just this window, to be fair. Signed Ashworth. Loaned out Hayden, who has an obligation in his contract to sign for Norwich if they get promoted. Woodman's gone out. Clark's gone. Target signed. Pope signed. Hendrick's gone. Botman signed. Benton has been upgraded. Eales is the CEO, and now Gale's left as well. I mean, Jesus Christ, why are we complaining? They're doing the job. Exactly. They've done the job they said they were going to come in to do, and that was upgrade everything. They've started doing that. And getting rid of the dead wood. They've started doing that. And don't dare put wood in the conversation. Just because I said that. But what do you, Matt, what do you make of so far of the window itself and the outgoings and everything?
Everything's been great so far, mate. There's been a lot of people stressing in the comments in the last few days, but mate, I'm doing really well. The amount of, like you said, dead wood that had to go, you know what I mean? Like, bless him, Jeff Hendrick and that, you know what I mean? They never played a game from coming in, and we need the squad space before we can have people coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, the transfers have been great. So, there's been 4 or 5 at least that from the first team going out.
Well, there's still more to leave as well. There's Feddy.
Yeah, I got a headline about that earlier. There's still 3 to 5 more to go.
Richie.
He's in Benfica. Frederick Fernandez is in Benfica, definitely.
I like him. I've always liked him. I thought he was one of our better defenders, but it's time for him to move on at his age, unless there's a year of contract being triggered that we can't do anything about. Blade, after reading all that, yes,
Shelby.
He has another year to trigger or something like that, but he wants to stay longer.
3 more games, and it triggers a year. So that'll be him till 2024.
Yeah, definitely for me. Blade, when I read all that, what did you make of the signings and outgoings?
Yeah, I'd seen it on Twitter, and I was just like, why are people complaining? Like, seriously, why? If you think back to the initial takeover, we celebrated when the Sports Direct signs came down. We celebrated when the windows got cleaned. If they'd have killed the Gallagher pigeon in that same week, would have been drunk for a month.
Brilliant. Mauro, what about you?
Absolutely agree. Everything that's been done till now is top notch, and I would just remind everybody that's been complaining, just remember of Lee Charney, remember of Shefty Kuchi and such players, and Hamza Chowdhury loan and everybody. So I just don't see. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Bentaleb. Jesus, I can go on forever. If Forrester and Lingard will be out, well, he's only there for a year anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
No, honestly, did not know Depay was a rapper. I had no idea. I don't listen to. I'm listening to rap music since Eminem, to be honest with you. That's how long ago it's been. I believe Anderson is the first team player after seeing him play. He's a class player, like everyone is saying. The next Gaza, I agree with Anderson as well. And he doesn't take up a squad number either, so it is actually worth him staying as long as he, you know. But again, I suppose he develops being in and around the first team, doesn't he? So I think McQuarrie has 2 or 3 years left on his contract. The guy buying Leon owns 40% of Crystal Palace. Ooh, see, I thought this wasn't allowed. I don't know. I give him with rules. There's no such thing as rules anymore. 3 to 4, I think, has been a bit optimistic, but you never know. Getting your Osman in after that would be brilliant. Mauro, are you Moldovan?
No, Croatian.
Croatian. He looks like Davizas. Come on. Outgoings. You what? Sorry.
He was Greek.
He was Greek, but look at him. The specimen in the top right-hand corner. Davizas.
Well, yeah, but he's clearly not Greek.
I know, but I've got Shea Given and Davizas on the show.
I know.
Oh, my head's gone. Like, outgoings be said when Mantua leaves. I think he's improved and can play in different positions, and there's still 4 or 5 players to go. Mantua's got an injury, though. I think that's the reason why he's not allowed to leave. But again, he can play left back, he can play right back, but we've got Duncan who can play left back as well. Kieran Trippier can play left back, depending who gets injured at right back. There's so many different options. It's crazy. He's a Mandalorian. I'm making. Whoops! I thought you were Moldovan. I'm sure he's fine with that. Morrow's an honorary Geordie. Well said, Derek. That's what we like to see.
Thank you.
Honorary Geordie, exactly. Right, we've done we've gone over an hour, by the way. Sorry, guys, for keeping you so long. So we're going to ask the members one question before we go. So, Blade, I'm going to start with you. What is as a fan of Newcastle for so many years, what is your best memory of being a Newcastle fan so far?
Keegan's rant.
Oh, really?
Against Ferguson.
I hated that.
Yeah, really.
That's
Just
your most
the raw
memorable
passion of it.
Yeah, I get that. I just thought, he's lost it. I loved it in a way, but I was just like, oh man, that's the league gone. And then when 10 years later or 15 years later, whenever it is, when Beckham and Neville had done that little thing and they said they creased themselves in the dressing room and on the training pitch the next day, bastards. Wound me up, that did. That was just a horrible time. Can't believe we blew the league still. Matt, what about you? What's your best memory of being a Newcastle fan so far?
Best memory of gameplay would be Tottenham, as devastating as it was when we got relegated 2016. 5-1 for best game that I've seen. I think we can all agree the best thing that happened in Newcastle.
He's done it.
Sorry, Matt. Maro's had a Maro. Where's your time?
Sorry.
Where's your sign? That was the perfect time for it.
Where's the sign?
Oh, that was last week. I haven't got it this week.
You have to be prepared.
Recycling bin this week,
Oh, brilliant. I love it. Sorry, Matt. So, yeah, Spurs 5-1.
Sorry, Matt.
Favourite playing moments but I think all of us have got the same favourite Newcastle moment, which is the current one. New owners coming in, richest club in the world. So I think that's got to be everyone's favourite moment now.
It's up there. To be fair, it's not my favourite moment. I'll come on to mine in a bit. No. Gary, what's your favourite moment of being a Newcastle fan so far?
Albert's chip.
Yes, there we go.
And God, there's so many. You cannot add stuff in the Wackens at St. James's. Honestly, you cannot beat that. Honestly. Just watching them cry. It was fantastic.
Mauro, what's your favourite moment of being a Newcastle fan so far?
There's been a lot. I really enjoyed Newcastle winning over Croatia Zagreb, and I almost got beaten because I was the only one cheering Newcastle all around the other guys. But definitely the favorite moment was Barca 3-2 win with Tino Asprilla scoring hat-trick and Kid Gillespie 2 assists. So that was amazing.
Yeah,
Sir Bobby Robson, wow.
It was. That's up there as well. To be fair, my
sorry, Keegan.
Keegan.
But that game
it was Dalglish, wasn't it? The 3-2. 3-2 was Dalglish, wasn't it? Is it Dalglish?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but just remember all those Gillespie's run and Asprilla scoring. It's
left like a salmon in the box, didn't he?
Sorry, I'm gonna change mine.
Come on then.
Shearer signing, that was huge.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the day it happened, honestly. I was a kid at the time. Honestly.
I read it on teletext.
He was going to Man United, I remember he was going to Man United, and then the next minute he signs for Newcastle. I was just on cloud nine. I was in the crowd.
Yeah, I was too young. I wasn't allowed to go up on my own. I remember reading it on teletext. I remember reading it, and I was just shocked. So I was like, jumping up and down in the room, and that I said, "Damn, we signed Shearer." And he's just like, "No, we haven't." I went, "Look, it's on teletext. We signed Shearer." He was like, "Oh shit!"
I know, unbelievable.
But for me, it's the Man United beating Man United 5-0 at St James's Park, because it was redemption for me, because I was at the Charity Shield and we got beat 4-0. That's my favourite moment. I've been a Newcastle fan. Obviously, the takeover's up there, the Barcelona game's up there. But to be at that game at 14, I think I was at the time, that was just the atmosphere was unbelievable. 32,000-seater stadium then as well. And we made more noise in 32,000 than we do with 52,000 at times.
Yeah.
It was just special.
Did anybody go to San Siro?
I didn't know. I was at work.
I was there.
Yeah.
It's still the best game I've ever been at.
2-2, Shearer scored a brace.
Honestly, it's 15,000 Geordies. Absolutely mortal drunk. Couldn't. Shearer's name came up on the stadium, and the whole stadium booed when his name came up. The rest of them, they weren't interested, but it was him. And he scored twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic, man.
Shove it in your ass. Takeover when 99% of Oldtown supporters was crying with joy. It was special. It is right up there, but I don't know. The 7-1 against Spurs was a great game as well. Baz told me he is actually from Sunderland but moved to Newcastle 3 years ago. Definitely not true. I don't know where you got that one from. I was born in North Shields. My favourite is personal, is watching with my Scottish mate here in the US who made me a Toon fan. See, that's a nice moment. It's a different kind of moment, though, isn't it? You've got to save all the Moro at the end of the year. Do a more moment.
It's like Soccer Saturday, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Moro's
It's like,
moment, Soccer Saturday.
He's turned into the new Chris Kamara, hasn't he? Send it off, Moro. Has it? I love it. Right, last question before we go, and it's going to be about about Gale. I said Chris Gale again, the bloody cricketer.
Chris Kamara.
Right, Gale. Blade, what was your favourite Gale moment?
It's got to be Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich is a
Norwich 4-3. Not a beat.
Yeah. That probably would have been mine if I hadn't have been in Chinatown when he scored his 2 goals, because I left the ground to go and get the bloody train and missed it. Livid. Matt, what about you for Gale?
Not a specific game, but just a player. I feel so sorry for him that he never got a chance when we got promoted back up to the Prem. I know he played a couple of appearances last season, didn't do now, but when the work he done for us in the Championship, it was unreal, and then the next year he was just forgotten about. I think he was maybe injured, but he was unfairly just pushed to the side. I think just that season, mate, that season, having him.
Yeah, well, that's why Rafa bought him, was literally to get out of the Championship, and then he did play quite a lot the first season. He just didn't score enough goals, and he never was going to. But it is all about the Championship, to be fair. But that's why he was bought. Rafa tried to move him on. And whether people think it's unfairly or not, that's what we're talking about now with the progression we're trying to make and trying to get rid of players. And it's just the natural progression of a football club now.
How it goes, that.
Yeah, exactly. Gary, what about yourself? Your favourite Gale moment?
When I met him in Toys R Us when I worked there. I was like a kid at Christmas because it was his Championship season. Yeah. So somebody came out and shouted, "Gale's in the shop," so I ran out. And you know when you just pretend to tidy in the aisles. And I just said hello to him and just spoke for a bit. And yeah, that's probably. But Norwich, I agree with Blake. Norwich.
Yeah, Norwich was a good one. Mauro?
Yeah, Norwich probably, or when his whole Championship season was something else than all of the Premiership seasons. So probably one of those. And just to say, yes, you were right about Dalglish. He was the coach. I had the look for him. Yeah.
He took over when Keegan walked out, and then
it was 97.
Second, and then he stayed, and then Champions League, it was all good. My favourite Gale moment, there's 2 or 3. Norwich would have been it if I'd stayed in the ground. There's the Barnsley one, when he celebrated the goal in front of the Gallagher end, going, "We're going up, Mackems are going down." But my favourite one, his performance, was against Leeds at Ellen Road when he shushed the crowd when he tapped that ball in. And then the keeper did that stupid, I loved it. That was probably my favourite one, was doing it at Ellen Road, because the rivalry, when I first went to my first Newcastle season in the Premier League, obviously there was no Sunderland, there was no Middlesbrough, and Leeds was our closest rivalry, and I kind of hated Leeds ever since then. So that did it for me at that time, was him doing that at Ellen Road. I was just like, get in, son, get in. But yeah, that would be my favourite moment, definitely. Right, that's the end of the show. I'm absolutely knackered. I can't wait to go to bed. I don't know about you guys. Rushing home from a 12-hour shift is fun, I can tell you. Have you enjoyed yourself, Matt?
It's been brilliant, mate. Thank you for having me on. It's better than sitting in the comment box.
No, thanks for being a member and supporting the channel how you do. And like I say, if there's anyone else who wants to come on in the future, like Blade's done 2 weeks in a row now, he's good crack as well, Blade. He just sits there patiently and waits, and then has his little moments. Makes us all laugh, and then you end up losing your head. It's great. Gary and Maro, we should be back on Sunday night. Hopefully we'll have some transfer news by then, because we really do need some information and some actual stuff for our show, really, because we've been struggling the last couple of Sundays. But I'm going to try my best to get some information. And I'll try and do a watch along on Tuesday night as well. If I can find a link, I will do it, because it's been a while since we've done one. But thanks everyone for coming on. Hope you've enjoyed yourself in the chat. The chat has been very lively. Enjoyed reading all the comments and getting as much as I can on the screen. And we'll see you again soon. Take care till later, guys.
Thanks again, pal.